Hello guys, welcome back. So now here in this session, we'll talk about terms of payment or payment terms. So we'll see what is this terms of payment, how the configurations are going to be done, testing part. Okay. First of all, if we talk about the terms of payment, what is the exact use of this terms of payment, right? So I'll tell you. Now here, let's suppose there is a vendor. Or it could be like, let's suppose here, this is the vendor. In this vendor, we are having multiple invoices. Multiple invoices in the sense like, let's suppose, okay. So I'll tell you guys, procurement is a continuous process that we all know. Okay. Now, so if we talk about a particular vendor, let's suppose vendor means supplier. So the procurement of raw material, let's suppose, okay, not only goods guys, even services as well. It's keep on taking place. Now here, so but here the procurement of goods and services, right? So goods will be like on regular basis, maybe every after 5 days or 10 days or 20 days, they'll keep on placing the orders, right? In terms of services like legal form is there or audit form is there, right? And different other kind of services are there, isn't it? So for that, let's suppose most likely we are going to receive the invoices at month-end basis. But here raw material means if it is like if stock is about to finish, let's suppose after 2 days or 3 days or 5 days, then the order is going to be placed today itself. Okay. So now here that is why I always says raw materials in the sense materials. Okay. So these are the different invoices. Okay. We know very well that whichever the procurements are happening, it is happening on credit basis. It means vendor is giving certain time to pay this amount, right? So whatever the business to business deals are happening, guys, it is happening on this credit basis only, right? Deals, I mean to say, whenever such kind of transactions are taking place, it is happening on credit in the sense vendors are giving certain time to pay this amount. Okay. So let's suppose this XYZ Limited said that the payment you can make in 30 days. Okay, payments are going to be made in 30 days. Now, so different invoices are there. These orders are placed on a different date, right? Let's suppose this invoice is on this date, right? This invoice on this on. I'll give a different date, guys. On here, okay, on this date, and then okay. So now here, and let's suppose it is. So if you talk about on different date, the procurement has taken place. Okay. Now, so these all invoices are going to be due on a particular date, right? So here, this is the invoice. This is payments are going to be made in 30 days. So what is happening? This is called terms of payment, right? And this is posting date. Invoices, let's suppose, are posted on a particular date. Okay, we can say invoice posting date. Okay. Now what is happening, guys? Due date. I'm just typing these all in shortcut, guys, so don't look at the spellings. So since these all invoices are getting posted on a different date, so it is going to be due on a particular date, guys. So when this invoice is going to be due, what we have to do here in this one, we have to add 30 days. Okay. So on which date this is going to be due, guys? Now this 5th of July, right? So July is having 31 days. If you add 30 days here, it is going to be due on 4th of August, right? Likewise, this is 15th of July. So it is going to be due on 14th of August, right? 1st of August. So this is going to be due on, mostly people will say that 1st of September, but it is going to be due on 31st of same month because 31 days is there, right? So 31 minus 1, right? So it is going to be after 30 days, right? So 30 plus 1, 31 you can say. Now, this is 22nd. So we can say now here 21st of September, and this is going to be 3rd of, okay, 3rd or 2nd. Is it correct, guys?
Second, sir.
2nd. Why 2nd? September is having only 30 days, guys, right? So that is why it is going to be due on 3rd of October. Okay, this July and August are having 31 days. That is why it is going to be due on next month minus 1 day. Okay, simple calculation is there. It's a mathematical calculations we can say, right? So it's like, see, if we say like at month end it is going to be right exactly after 1 month or something, that is a different thing. But here, if we are going to calculate day wise calculation is there 30 days, 45 days, right? So SAP is going to count how many days are there in a particular month, and based on that, this calculation is happening. So here 15th, and this one is 1st of October, right? So when it is going to be, October is having again 31 days, right? So on 31st of October itself it is going to be due, guys. Okay. What the due date? If we talk about status of these invoices, this now. So status means how it is going to be counted, guys. What is the date today? So today's date is, let's suppose this is the date. Okay. On this date, compared to this date. So this become overdue. Again, this is also overdue, and this is also overdue itself. So these all are overdue. What about this invoice? So this is not overdue. This is called due. It means today is 3rd of October. It become due today itself. Tomorrow it is going to be treated as overdue, right? This become overdue because tomorrow it will be 4th and due date is 3rd only. So we have crossed this 3rd, right? So it become overdue. Now here 15th of October. So this is called not due and this is also not due. So very simple things are there. Now, why I am saying this calculation guide? Because first of all, you have to understand here, isn't it? Now you just see here how much time it has taken. Like let's suppose if we have to calculate this due date manually, it is going to take too much time. Because for a single vendor, this is the case. What will happen if we have like let's suppose 10,000 vendors or 20,000 vendors? In that case, manual calculation is taking too much time. So here SAP is saying that manual calculation is not needed. Okay, there will be a configuration called terms of payment. So we have to do this configuration, guys, and with the help of this configurations, whatever this calculation is there, that is going to happen automatically, right? So how it is going to happen, we'll see practically. But yes, this is what the use of terms of payment. In the sense, now what is happening here? Simply, we have to post the invoice. We have to post the invoice, and then what is happening? Once you post the invoice, this due date calculations for every invoice is going to happen automatically. Based on which setting, guys? Based on terms of payment or payment terms. Very simple, right? No need to mug up any definitions and all. Try to understand the things. If you're having perfect understanding, right? Definitions you guys are going to create or make definitions you can, it can be made by yourself only. And it's not like that you are going to say something in terms of 3 line, 4 line, some, definitions and all. Even if you quote the example also, that is going to be accepted, right? Now, here, let's suppose this is the case of one vendor. Now we are having multiple vendor, right? Now we are having multiple vendor. Let's suppose these all are the vendors. So certain vendor says, so different vendors we are having with different vendor and different payment terms negotiations are there because some vendors are supplying uh, different materials, some vendors are supplying different materials and different goods or services, whatever it is. So based on the nature of goods and services, what is happening, guys? Different vendors are going to give different like so. procurement department will be there, guys. That is called purchasing team, you can say, or purchase department. So what is the use of this purchase department, guys? First of all, they will keep on finding new vendors from market. Then what will happen? They will keep on doing these negotiations for the best deal. Okay. So certain vendor says that, okay, and as I said, like different materials are going to be supplied by vendor. So different payment terms will be there. So this vendor is says like he's saying after G H will be there. Okay, yes, it happens, guys. Now, so take it. And here, look at here, one A to H. Now here, the terms of payment. Somebody like this vendor is saying like in 30 days. Okay, so we have to create a payment terms. Okay, now so here I'll do one thing. First of all, I'll write 30 days. This vendor also agreed on 30 days. This vendor says that I'll give additional. I can accept payment in 45 days or after 45 days, right? This vendor also same 45 days. This vendor says that 60 days I can accept. So also let's suppose 60 days. Even this vendor is the supplier of some unique material or whatever it is, which the like very costly, and also they are saying that we can give you more time to make payment. So like that, different vendors will have different payment terms. In the sense they have given different deadline to make the payment. So likewise, these are just a normal payment terms I'm saying, guys. Later on, what is happening? Multiple, because I'll show you different conditions are going to be added. Okay, even discounts also is going to be added here, right? So in payment terms, generally what is happening? So these are the different payment terms will be there. So the question is how to remember that with which vendor what negotiation has been done. Okay, so I'll tell you generally it is not needed. Why it is not needed, guys? There is a reason. Okay, so it is not needed in the sense like we are not going to specify somewhere in the diaries or somewhere and while posting the transactions and all people are going to use this payment terms and all. No. So generally at the time of whenever these negotiations are happening, so what happened? Then the procurement team, purchase department, first of all negotiations will happen, guys. All these agreements with the vendor is going to sign off. And once it is done, then first of all, a vendor master must be created, guys, into SAP. Then only you can post the transactions, right? So we must have to create a vendor master. Now here what happened? So if you're going to create a vendor master, okay, at the time of creation of vendor master itself, what is happening, guys? The terms of payments are going to be assigned in master data. The terms of payment is going to be assigned at the time of creation of vendor master. Okay, so this is what is, that's what I said. Master data means not only the name and address, guys, multiple other details are going to be also stored at master data. Now what is the benefit? So the benefit is when you guys are going to post the invoice, let's suppose worth of 4,000, right? And on this vendor master we have given terms of payment TM30. TM30, I mean to say, like certain payment terms are going to be created, like different code will be given. Okay, different code will be there for 45 TM45, right? Likewise here it will be TM60, and here TM90, like that. Okay, it's not only like TM30 or TM, it's like any code can be given. This code could be numeric, alphanumeric, alphabetic, whatever. Okay. So these are the code. Okay. So here there is a logic so that user will be able to understand this is 30 days, this is 30 days, this is 45 days, like that we have given. Okay. So here what happened guys, different payment terms we have created, and at the time of creation of vendor master, these payment terms are going to be assigned to the vendor master itself. Okay. Now what happens? If you post the invoice, so when you post the invoice, what is happening? Automatically, in the sense like if you talk about while posting the invoice, if you have observed, right side the vendor name and addresses are going to appear. Likewise, what happened guys? Whatever the payment terms we have assigned to the master data, that will be, that system is going to read out that payment terms, and then as per this payment terms, what is happening guys? The due date calculations are going to happen automatically. This is what the benefit. So look at here guys, your work become pretty simple, pretty easy. In the sense, payment terms are going to be copied by system from master data, and what is happening, and based on that this due date calculations are going to be done by system automatically. Very simple steps are there. I'll show you practically here so that you guys will be having very perfect understanding. Okay, now I'll come back on this PPT. Look at it. This is what I have explained guys. Terms of payments are the condition agreed between. Okay, I'll tell you. This terms of payment is going to be used even for customers also. So customers we can see once I start account receivable, right? So terms of payments are the conditions agreed between customers and vendor for the payment of invoices. See, I'll tell you guys the kind of conditions are applicable on the vendors, right? We say that we are going to make payment in 30 days or 90 days or 60 days. The same conditions even the customers are also going to impose. The reason behind this, we are a vendor for those customers. In the sense, Tata Motor is supplier for those customers, right? Okay. So that is why I have specified customers and vendor. In customer, we can see in account receivable. Now, the conditions define the due date and even cash discount also. Right now, first of all, we'll see how to define a normal payment terms of payment terms, guys, and then will this cash discount also we are going to see. I'll explain that. Okay. So we'll see that also. So terms of payment is going to calculate what guys? Of course, due date. And later on, what is happening, guys? Discounts also is going to be calculated by terms of payment, but that we'll see separately. Right now, see the due date, how it is going to be calculated. Payment terms enable the system to calculate invoice, due date, and a cash discount. Okay, so first of all, we'll see how the due date calculations are going to happen, and then we'll see how this cash discount is also going to happen. Right? So, how to define this terms of payment? Let me log in. So, we'll define a payment terms. We'll post an invoice. Okay. Now here, okay. Now it's just do one thing. So define a payment terms. OB 08 This is the T code. Press enter. Sorry, not 08 guys, it is OBB8. OBB8 here. Okay. So we have, I think somebody might have used this TM30 code. Okay, I think I might have created. So let me, okay. So now I'll just do one thing guys. Just save it. Okay, and refresh the screen. /n OB create 1 second. Okay, now so it's not like that you have to create the same code. Since I have quoted this example, that is why it was created by me only. I deleted those, and again I'm going to set up. So I'm going to use this TM30. You guys can use like somebody AM30, AB30, right? XY30, like that. Whatever your company codes are there, as for that, or is like numeric also you can use, right? Look at here. These are the numeric code itself is there. Okay, you just do one thing, click on new it. So here, payment terms TM30. Okay, now so here what is happening guys, here descriptions can be given. Okay, descriptions means here what happened, you can give certain descriptions. Here own explanations means the same can be copied and pasted here, or else if you want to give a descriptions in a different language also it is possible, right? Certain languages, like if you talk about German language, Chinese language, French language, there are certain languages which is being supported by SAP. So in a different language also can be given, but generally English itself is being used guys. Okay, so now, okay, so here the second thing is account type. So here customers and vendor, two check boxes are there. So generally and by default this check boxes will be there. So generally in real time what happens guys, whenever we define any payment terms, so what happen, we'll keep this check mark as it is. Why? Because right now we are defining this payment terms for vendor, but in future it can be used in case of customers also, right? Whatever payment terms I have discussed here, right? The same payment terms can be used in case of customers also. There are certain customers who has negotiated to make the payment in 30 days. Certain customers are going to make payment in 45 days. Certain customers are in 60 days. Certain customers like overseas customers are there, right? So they are saying that we'll make payment in 90 days or whatever. So different payment terms are there. So it can be used by customer also. Okay. Or else if there is any restrictions that no, this payment terms are going to be used in case of vendor only, then you can remove a check mark. So it can be used by vendor. The same payment terms, if you uh, try to use for the customer, system will not allow. So in that case, you can edit and you can apply a check mark here. Then it can be used, or else you have to set up a different payment terms. Okay, this is what the logic. Now, behind each and every setting, guys, there is a logic, isn't it? So we'll see. First of all, we are going to see here the basic, you know, payment terms. What is, how it is going to be created. Now here, so look at here. First of all, I says like 30 days payment. So simply number of days are there. Okay. So here we are going to specify 30. We'll see that some other example also I'll quote. right? One by one we'll see, guys. We'll add the conditions and then we'll see this. So look at here, 30 days I have given. Okay. Now, number of days 30, and if you press enter, then what is happening? This explanation got changed within 30. This is automatically it is getting updated, guys. If you have a look, I'll just do one thing. Once again, OBB it, press enter. I have not saved, so I can give TM30 once again. And look at here, right now it says payable immediately due date. What does it mean, guys? It means right now we have not given any conditions. So what happened? Payable immediately due date means if you use this payment terms, then invoices are going to be due immediately. Invoice got posted today, it is going to be due today itself. This is what the logic. Okay, so and such kind of payment terms, of course, can be used, right? Rarely itself, but it can be used. Generally, what is happening, guys? If there are certain vendor, with those kind of vendors, if we have like very rare transactions are taking place, maybe once in a year or twice in a year. So such kind of vendors are not going to give you the credit limit of 30 days or 45 days or 90 days. They will say that you guys are procuring very rarely, so you have to make the payment immediately, right? Okay. Now here, now look at here, 30 days payment. Give here 30 days, and the moment I press enter, look at here, this is going to be changed automatically based on this setting. Press enter. Look at here. Now explanations, it got changed within 30 days due. Okay, it is saying that 30 days due it means the invoices are going to be due on 30th day. So after 30 days, the payment must be made. I'll just copy this one itself, and yeah, I'm going to paste it. Simple, right? Now, there is the one thing. Next thing is here default baseline date. Default baseline date means we are having no default, document date, posting date, and entry date. Okay, we'll see. Okay, no default. What is the use of no default, guys? We'll see that practically, don't worry. Now, apart from this no default, so by default here, by default, like look at here, this radio button. Four radio buttons are there. What is the difference between radio button and check mark, guys? Check mark means if we have four check boxes, we can apply a check mark against every. But radio button means if you have four radio button, you can select only one options. Check mark means all four can be selected or three can be selected or two. In radio button, only one. So now what is this default baseline date? Okay. So from these three, anyone can be selected. Posting date, document date, and entry date. So now it's time to see when you talk about transaction posting. Right? So here, if you go to FP50, look at here, we have document date and posting date. Likewise, if you go for FB60, in the sense we have to post the vendor invoice, right? There the same document date will be there. The field name is going to be changed. Instead of document date, SAP says it is invoice date. So that is nothing but document date itself. FB60. Look at here, invoice date. Okay. So this invoice date was earlier. Now I think maybe till this EHP5. SAP is having different versions. So in the previous, like I think maybe EHP5 it was documented itself. EHP6 onwards it got changed, or maybe in EHP7 it got changed. That I'm not able to remember, but yes. So this invoice date is nothing but document date. Okay, keep in your mind Invoice date is nothing but document date. Okay. So SAP is saying here baseline date, because from payment terms I have seen multiple times people ask the question, what is the use of baseline date? Right? So I'll tell you. Now, so baseline date we are having three different date. Okay. Three different date means one is document date, second one is posting date, and third one is entry date. What is this document date? What is this posting date? And what is the entry date? Is there anyone, guys, who can say some differences between document date, posting date, and entry date? Anybody is having any idea?
Sir, document date is a invoice date which a vendor posted on created on document invoice, and posting date and that date which we are getting a post this document in our end, like vendor is issuing date invoice date is 10 and we are going to post it in 12
Entry date,
and are in date, sir. Third one is in date.
entry date of what is this entry date?
It is the actual
In
date
date.
the user.
Anna, you are saying something. Repeat again.
The entry date is the actual date which the user will post the invoice.
The user will post the invoice. And posting date?
The date that invoice is posted.
So is there any difference between entry date and posting date?
Mm,
Right? Definitions you said in both cases, right?
yes.
Okay.
The posting date is the date that the invoice is posted.
Entry date also you are saying the same thing. Simple, guys, because I have seen during in this one. So of course I can understand like almost everybody will be there on same page itself. Okay, it's very simple now. Okay, so I'll just quote a very simple example here, so that let's suppose, okay, and generally you guys also can do one thing. So when anybody asks like what is the difference between posting date, document date, and entry date, the same example you can quote. No need to quote any what is a definitions or something. So let's suppose, just assume a case, right? So okay. So now let's suppose there is an invoice. Okay, there is an invoice. This invoice was like, say for example, okay. So I'll say here. Okay. So today is 3rd of October, right? So let's suppose this invoice was printed on 26th of September. Okay, invoice was printed. Okay, first of all, invoice is getting. First of all, this invoice at vendor place. What is happening, guys? When they deliver the goods, right? After certain time, they are going to deliver the invoices also. Okay, that logic you guys will be able to understand later. There will be another topic called FIMM integrations. Okay, so there I'll explain the things in details. Okay, now so let's suppose when vendor is going to send the invoice, first of all they'll deliver the goods, right? And based on that, now they are going to deliver the invoice. Okay, so invoice was printed on 26th, but it was sent by, let's suppose vendor has couriered you the invoices through courier or by post, whatever it is, and we have received this on, say for example, 2nd of October. The invoice was received on 2nd of October. Now what is happening, guys? So this invoice was printed on 26th. It means, so when this invoice was documented, right, on 26th. So this is called document date. Okay. Now, so here there is no any problem. So document date is nothing but your invoice date, right? Document date is nothing but invoice date. You can say the date which is there on invoice, that is your document date. Now this invoice was received. If you talk about Tata Motor, let's suppose the courier person came, right? And somebody has handed over this invoice to the reception counter. And let's suppose that person, like, couriers means, like, if you talk about big organizations, guys, multiple couriers are coming on regular basis, right? And reception counter means, like, since multiple departments are there, so first of all they are going to segregate all the letters, that this is for sales department, this is a purchase department, this is a finance and account department, this is for HR department, right? Different departments are there. Okay. Now, so these letters are going to be distributed. It is going to be sent to respective department. So this letter was received on 2nd afternoon. But when it reached to the finance and account department, maybe at 4 p.m., right? Okay. So at 4 p.m. it is going to be. Now here what is happening, guys? So whether it is 4 p.m. or 2 p.m., whatever it is, but when actually it has been received on 2nd of October. Now what is happening? At 4 p.m. it was received by finance team, and somebody will be responsible to post these invoices. So the guy was like 4 p.m. means, like at 5 p.m. or 5:30 they are going to, or 6 o'clock they are going to log off. So that guy is in hurry and he thought like, okay, I'll have to go 1 hour, like I'll log out 1 hour early. So he was in like almost packing the bags and all. So he thought, what I'll do, I'll post this invoice tomorrow. So he kept this invoice somewhere on this desk only. And tomorrow is which date, guys? Tomorrow is, so when he came back tomorrow, in the sense on this date, tomorrow I mean to say, I'm talking in this date perspective, right? So on 2nd, the invoice was received. And on 2nd, he thought that I'm going to post this invoice tomorrow. So tomorrow become 3rd. So when he came back on 3rd, he is going to post this invoice. But I'll tell you guys, when he posts the invoice, so while posting, he has to enter document date. So document date means 26th of, because this is the invoice date, guys. But posting means now tomorrow means like today. So it, in the sense like on 3rd. So on 3rd, the posting date is 3rd, right? But now he is going to give 2nd. Why? Because the invoice was received on 2nd. So what is happening, guys? Receiving is already like they have accepted this invoice, they have accepted on 2nd, right? So vendor is going to count their 30 days from 2nd only, because as per them they have already, let's suppose it was sent by vendor executive only, delivered by vendor by no matter whatever means are there. So vendor is going to count their 30 days from, let's suppose they are saying that, okay, on this date the invoice was delivered. So count 30 days from 2nd onwards. Whether they have posted or not, that is not their headache. In that case, if the Tata Motor says, no, invoice was posted on 5th of this one. So what does it mean? It was delivered on 2nd only, right? So in that case, and second thing is transactions. There are, so accounting principle, right? If you talk about or accounting rules, whatever you say, it says transaction must be recorded whenever it takes place. So these transactions, once we receive the invoice is nothing but a transaction, guys. You have to post it. It was received on 2nd. It must be recorded on that date itself. Now what happened? That guy, what he did, he thought like, okay, I'll come back on tomorrow and then I'm going to post. Tomorrow become 3rd, but he is going to give posting date on 2nd itself. Why? Because vendor is also going to count their 30 days from 2nd. So now here this become is going to give posting date second. But what is the actual date of invoice posting, guys? So this is the actual date. This is the actual date, right? Actual date. So now here what is happening? Invoice was received on second and it is going to be posted in this date, right? So this is called posting date. Posting date. Okay. So it is going to be posted on the date on which we have received the invoice, right? So this is posting date. So posting date we have given second, but still I'll tell you guys what is the actual date of posting. That is third. So this is called entry date. When the invoice is getting entered, actually on third. So guys, on these two we have our command. You can manipulate document date, you can manipulate posting date, but you can't manipulate this entry date. Okay, if this was posted on third, it's okay. It is going to be recorded by system automatically in background, right? We don't have any control on entry date, guys. Entry date, whatever the current date is there, that is automatically it is going to be taken by system, right? So this is going to be updated automatically. But document date and posting date, that you can change. You can post a transactions in a previous date also. So that is why initially when you guys are able to remember during transaction posting, I said like during JV posting, right? General vouchers. I said I'll explain the logic. So this is what the logic, right? This is what the example, simplest example. Invoice got printed on a particular date, that is document date. We have received this invoice on a particular date. On same date it is supposed to be posted, right? So this is going to be posting date. But unfortunately, on that day it was not getting posted. Let's suppose next day what happened, guys? Next day it is going to be posted. So even on next day also if it is going to be posted, but still our receiving date is second only. So next day it become third. So even though it is third, but it is going to be posted on which date, guys? On the date we have received the invoice. So posting date we have given second, but actual date of transaction posting was third. So that is going to be recorded by system automatically in the form of entry date. Now here SAP is getting confused, right? SAP is saying that you tell me the 30 days calculations, right? So you tell me like from which date the 30 days are going to be calculated? From posting date, from document date, or from entry date, right? So that we have to decide where. That first of all you must have to specify. SAP don't know, right? Whatever instructions we are giving, based on that it is going to be. So mostly this document date and posting date is going to be used, guys, and mostly posting dates will be there. Even document date also, it depends upon the negotiations initially itself, right? So document date or posting date, whatever is there, from where like 30 days are going to be counted from which date? Document date or posting date, right? Generally entry date will not be there in discussions, right? Entry date is here, it is specified by SAP that yes, this is also a date and this kind of situation may happen, right? So this option was given by, but this is a very rarely used options, but these are the options which is going to be used, document date and posting date. Okay, so here you can select anyone, document date or posting date. Let's suppose, so I have selected, let's suppose, posting date. It means from this date the 30 days, in the sense due date calculations are happening. So look at here, baseline date. Baseline date means what is this baseline? Save it first. Okay, so baseline date. So baseline date means the date from which the due dates are going to be calculated, or else in a different way you guys can say here. Okay, what you can say, let's suppose there is an amount, this is the invoice amount, right? And say for example 10%, tax is going to be calculated on that. Okay, so this become including tax, it become 1100, right? So what about this tax, guys? On which amount it is getting calculated? On this amount, 1000. So this 1000 is called base amount. Base amount for what, guys? For this tax calculation. This tax is calculated on which amount? This amount. So this is called base amount. On this amount, the tax is getting calculated, right? Likewise, if you talk about this due date, on which date it is going to be calculated? Say, for example, on this date it is. So this is called your base date, right? From this date onwards, the 30 days is going to be calculated. So this becomes your base date. So this base date itself is called baseline date. Baseline date or base date, both are same. What do you mean by baseline date or base date? The date from which in the sense, it's a kind of date from where the due dates are going to be calculated, right? So baseline date is going to be used for due date calculations. What is the use of this payment terms, guys? So of course, the payment terms are going to be used for this. Generally, with the help of payment terms, what is happening? SAP is going to calculate due date only. In the sense, invoices are going to be due on different date, right? So within payment terms, we are having actually here a setting called baseline date. So here we have to select that this due date is going to be calculated or from which date, posting date, document date, or entry date. This is what the logic. So we have saved it. Now this TM30 I have defined as a payment terms. What next we have to do, guys? Simply you have to assign these payment terms to the vendor master. Go to, so vendor master means we are having xk01 is for creation, right? xk02 is for editing. Now we have to edit the vendor master. xk02. What is our vendor master number? Let me check here. So your company code TM22. So use any vendor, guys. Now, let's suppose this 48. Where to assign the terms of payment? First of all, so you can hear multiple, what you say, this check boxes are there. So you can go to particular tab directly, right? And where we have to assign, it's here in this payment transactions. Here we have to assign the payment terms. So you select payment transactions and press enter. So right now, standard payment terms I have assigned here, that is 0001. This is delivered by SAP only. Certain standard settings will be there, guys. That is, you can say it is predefined setting, right? Whenever the SAP server is going to be installed by basis consultant, certain predefined settings will be there. That is delivered by SAP only. That is given by SAP, right? If you talk about like what are the pre-delivered setting, guys? Fiscal year variance. If you have to define April to March, for that SAP has already given a sample fiscal year variant, that is, I think the code is V3. For Jan to December, K4, that is the code given by SAP. Likewise, July to June, I think P3 or something is there, P0 maybe, I'm not able to remember, but yes, multiple. So these are the fiscal year variants. So why it is given by SAP? It is going to make your work easy, right? Since I have to explain the logic, that is why we are doing lots of settings manually, so that you guys will be able to understand the logic behind those configurations, right? But in real time, when you guys are going to become consultant, are you going to define a fiscal year variant, let's suppose April to March, manually? No. We are already having this V3, which is already given by SAP. Simply I'll copy that, or you guys are also going to do the same thing, so that you can save your time. The configurations which you are going to make in 5 minutes, or it's going to take 10 minutes, that can be done within few seconds if you copy. That is the benefit. Field status variant, right? In that, multiple field status groups are there. What happened? Are we going to define manually? No. It is already delivered by SAP. Multiple field status variants are already delivered by SAP standard. Simply we copy that. It is going to save our time, right? So here likewise certain payment terms are given by SAP. So now we have defined our own TM30. I'm going to assign here and save it. So now what happened? This is our vendor. Now I have to post the invoice FB60. Okay. Now here vendor is 100, and I think this one 548 is there. 548. This one is. So invoice date is, say for example, this is the invoice date, and as I said here 02 on this date. Okay, a particular amount, guys, is going to be posted here, and any GL can be. I think we are having purchase GL, which is already selected, and generally you can press enter button. So there will be, look at here, check document date is in future, right? So it was supposed to be 09, right? Invoice, we are going to receive invoice printing is like in past only, right? So it was a warning message. Press enter now. So look at here, document date and posting date. Invoice. You click here on payment tab. So what happened? Baseline date, right? So in baseline date, by default, 2nd of October got updated, right? What is the 2nd of October, guys? This is your posting date. So in baseline date, by default, posting date got updated. Why? Because on this payment terms TM30, TM30 by default SAP has copied from where? It is coming from vendor master. Look at here, your work become very easy because we have given at vendor master label, right? Now, so your baseline date, and it is going to be due in 30 days. So 30 days, this is already copied by SAP from this payment term settings. So in this 30 days are going to be added, and it will be due on first of next month, November. Why? Because again, this October is having 31 days, right? That is why it is going to be due on 1st of November. If October is having only 30 days, then what will happen? It is going to be due on 2nd of November, right? Pretty simple, guys. As I said, it is a mathematical calculations, but the calculations are going to be made by SAP automatically. So this is what the use of payment terms, guys. This is how this calculations are happening, right? So what is this baseline date, guys? Baseline date means there we have to decide that the due date calculations are going to happen from which date. That is the exact use, isn't it? Now, so this is how these payment terms are going to work. You can save this. So now what is happening? This invoice is going to be, if you see 5004, right? So if you go to FBL1, right? 5004 here, this one. So now what is happening, guys? Look at here. It is not due. Why? Because it is the due date is in future, isn't it? The due date is in future. Now, so this is what is going to happen. This is how it is going to happen, right? So this is all about the payment terms. This is all about the payment terms, right? And I'll have to tell you guys one more thing. Now, say for example, because I have seen in group like, see, this is where the problem is, guys. When you are not, because I have seen like in the group like certain question has been asked by you people, right? So there, the problem is you guys, like you're going to write the question just in one line, but answers are not possible, right? To specify the things, I cannot explain in just 2 lines or 3 lines. The answers means somebody was saying that, let's suppose if I'm having multiple invoices, right? When we make the payment, these are the invoices, right? So I said like whatever the payment, let's suppose if I have to make payment for this invoice. So what about remaining? Remaining are going to be deactivated. So the question was like, so are we going to deactivate one by one? And if we have 1000 1000 line item or 500 such kind of invoices are there, then are we going to deactivate one by one every line item? No, right? Again, second thing is there, like again the second question was like, let's suppose I'm having 500 line item out of which only 2 or 3 are overdue, right? Or is like I have to select like, so I have to find it out which invoice is overdue. It's very simple, guys. First of all, if you talk about manual payment, right, then you'll be having options here. You can like, this is not due, right? You exclude this line item because this is a different testing was there in the previous session now. So this invoice is not due. Likewise, you can post other invoices. Other invoice, let's suppose I'm going to post in a so 0107. And posting date also I'm going to keep same. So this time I just have to show you guys. Let me save it. Press enter. And again, so 1507. I'm going to keep this posting date also same. Just save it. So 4 or 5 invoices will be there. I'll post one more invoice. And December 28th. Or else like I'll post this one on like 1st of October. Just save it. Now what is happening, guys? We are having, if you go to FPL on it, multiple invoices, right? So out of which, okay, out of which certain are overdue. Look at here, these are overdue. This is not due. So out of this, I have to make payment of this 3000 only, right? 5006. So what you have to do, guys? 5006. So you have to go to F-43, F-53, right? So here you give your bank GL and which amount? I think 3000 was the amount, and your vendor, press enter. So I said which one? 5006. This is one. So we have to deactivate remaining. How to deactivate? If you're having 1000 such kind of line item, so you have to do one thing. Look at here. Here we are having select all options, right? You can click select all. So all got selected. And then what is happening, guys? You can do one thing. Here we are having activate and deactivate. So now you click on deactivate. So all got deactivated, right? Now, so look at here, assigned amount becomes 0. We have entered 3000. The payment you have to make for which one? This 5006. You double click on this one. So this only one got activated now. If you double click on again, it is deactivated. If you double click, once again it is activated. Shortcut, right? So now it becomes activated, and then you can post the payment. So this is what. But such kind of small, since like like for every batches, I'm creating this WhatsApp group and all. So if you guys are going to post a message, right? So these things cannot be specified there manually, isn't it? Now another thing is there that I have 1000 invoices, out of which again only 2 or 3 invoices are overdue. So how to find out? So here also, here you have to, we have options, right? Here you're having options. You can check, okay, this is the overdue. I'm going to skip this KZ because it was tested in a different sense, right? So these are the two. This is overdue, this is overdue. So look at here, the symbol is different. The symbol is different. So here people will come to know these two are overdue, or is like net due date. Look at here. So it will be like past date. So from here also, but this is the better way. In bed. Okay. By this, people will come to know how many invoices are overdue. That is the one thing. Second thing is, if you want like SAP should determine this due or overdue item automatically. That option is also there, guys, but one by one, we are going to proceed further. I'll explain those things also. Later on, there will be another configuration called automatic payment program, right? So what happened? As I said, like the moment, like slowly, we are going to proceed further, and lots of queries are going to be clarified. That is why I have just simply specified in the group that okay, yes, it is going to be answered. And I said like somebody just asked the question in live class, so that I'll answer this. So this is how it is going to be, right? So this is how you can post the payment. If you have multiple line item, instead of deactivating one by one, you can select all, deactivate all, and then whichever invoice you have to make payment, you select that invoice and activate that invoice. That's it. Simple procedure is there. Okay. So we were discussing terms of payment. Still, there are certain things I have to explain. But again, as I said, it is going to be explained one by one. So remaining whatever the things are there, we'll talk. I'll explain in next session. So that's all in this session, guys.